As Chris mentioned, I'm the marketing manager at World Leaders, and today I'm going to be talking to you about marketing and lead generation. And just a disclaimer before we get started here. Anytime that you sit down to talk about marketing and lead generation, or read about it, or watch a video about it, know that you are only experiencing and only learning a part of it. Today I'm going to talk to you about a couple core things that you want to make sure that you have in place, but it is by no means the full list of marketing and lead generation initiatives. Marketing should be something that your team continuously studies and seeks to get better at. Can you hear me okay? For sure? Okay. All right, so we're going to break the presentation today down into three major parts here. So we have data, and this comes in the form of contact data. We have messaging and distribution. In other words, what are we targeting? What are we saying to them? And how are we delivering that message? Your contact database is a reflection of your company's future revenue. And this comes in three parts, three different categories. The first is your current customers. Next, you have your prospects. And finally, you have recommenders. Does that make sense? Okay, let's take a step further. Now, when you evaluate your database, we're gonna do it according to this graphic. The first thing you're going to look at is, do I have all of the targeted companies that my organization wants to go after for the next 2 to 3 years? And we're going to break this down in terms of the firmographic information when we start our company search. So we look at, what are the industries that I want to, What are the industries that I want to sell to? What are the geographies? How big are these companies? What does their technology stack look like? What is their performance like? You want to get a good idea of the organizations that you are best fit to serve and get a running list of those in your contact database. The next step is going after the targeted stakeholder. So Joe touched on this. I'll touch on it one more time. For those that are current World Leaders customers or been to our events before, I'm sure you've heard that we believe that there are three different types of decision makers in any sale: the business level, the user level, and the financial level. Right? The business level, they have profit and loss responsibility for the organization. They are sometimes referred to as the executive level decision maker, the management level decision maker in other media. But these are the top person who has profit and loss responsibility, and it's their job to ensure that organization or that business unit's competitiveness. So we want to make sure we have business level people in the database. The user level is the people who are going to be using the product, and the financial level is those that are concerned with procurement. Joe, did I explain that correctly? Do you want to touch on anything there?
No, you're right there.
Good, okay. If we have a targeted company and we don't have the business level decision maker, we essentially don't have a real prospect in our database. Let's get the business level decision maker in there. Did I make that point clear? Okay. So, the next part is, do we have validated contact information on this business level decision maker? And this comes in the form of a validated corporate email address, a validated mobile phone number, or at the very least, a direct dial. Their LinkedIn, so are you connected with them on LinkedIn so they can see what you post and you can talk to them on LinkedIn, and their physical address so you can send them mailers. Now, let's talk about why having these pieces of information on targeted level stakeholders is important. This slide represents the number of touches, the number of interactions that your organization needs to have with a prospect to convert it to a sale. So I'm just going to read a few of these here. 7 to 10 exposures to remember you. 8 to 18 attempts to actually connect with a buyer. 5 to 8 connections, but once you're connected with them and there's a business case in place, converting that to a close, leading to a grand total of between 20 and 36 touch points, interactions, whatever you want to call them, with a prospect, with a customer, to convert them to future revenue. Guys, that is a big number. That is a lot. It takes time to hit 36. So I'm going to ask a rhetorical question here. If you don't have a validated email address, if you don't have their direct number, if you aren't connected with them on LinkedIn, if you don't have their physical address, how are you going to get to that number 36? How is your sales and marketing organization going to really get noticed and be able to talk to these people enough? I highly recommend ZoomInfo. It's one of the tools that we looked at internally to come up with this information on these targeted level stakeholders. Joe talks about when a new sales rep comes on board, having part of their onboarding be actually going out and finding this information and building their database. Either way, any way you want to do it, it is a corporate asset to have a database in place, and let's make sure that we get that in place for 2020.